What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Timeless Movie Podcast, episode number 195. My name is Victor Vasquez. Appreciate you joining me on this episode and this channel where all we do is talk about movies. Movies that come out in theaters or in streaming. We'll talk about them, we'll give you our opinions, and then we'll decide after watching the movie, is it timeless? I hope you all are having a great start to your week and a great Memorial Day weekend if you're in the U.S. If not, well, sorry that you didn't get the Monday off. But either way, I'm glad that you're here listening to this channel because we're going to be talking about so many different movies that have come out in May. But on today's episode 195, we're talking about a special movie and we have a special guest. We have the Grogu to my Mando, Omar Vasquez, Mr. Om. Omar, how's it going, man?
You think that's our dynamic?
I would think so.
I'm Grogu?
Yeah. Like, you are like the alien. More importantly, though, I feel like out of the two of us, if we were in the Star Wars galaxy, Mr. Rome, I think you would have the Force and the abilities. And I'd be more of like the, the common average Joe, but maybe has some cool abilities too like that. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, you're trying to flip it, but that's all right. It's all right. Try to make it positive.
Yeah. Well, or
we're partners. We're on equal footing.
Yes. Well, I mean,
Grogu's a child.
Yeah.
Mando's his legal guardian.
Yeah. But age-wise, sort of equals,
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, Omar, thanks so much for coming back, Mr. Omar. I know it's been a while. The last time on episode 190,
I was still there.
You were there. Only for a couple minutes, though, But it's good to have you back in the studio here, man.
Yeah, man. It feels good to be back home.
So excited, man. Excited. Not only, again, and hopefully that teaser kind of gave you an idea as to what movie we're talking about today, but we are going to be talking about Star Wars' new film, The Mandalorian and Grogu. So, again, we're going to be going into a little bit of non-spoilers first, then into spoilers like we normally do. But before we get there, little housekeeping that I always want to let you guys know. Please, if you could do me a favor, reach out to us. Follow the channel. If you listen on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on YouTube, wherever you do it, feel free to subscribe, leave some comments. I've been getting a lot of comments on Spotify from Nathan Taylor. He's been showing a lot of support, sending his own opinions on some of the movies that I've done, like Obsession, as well as other films like Mortal Kombat as well. So again, if you want to get shouted out, if you want to contribute and give us any of your feedback about the podcast, please drop those comments in. That way I can read them and always give my own responses and also include you on these episodes as well. One more thing, though. Please reach out to us also on timelessmoviepod@gmail.com.
Okay.
You can always let us know of any recent movies that you've checked out or anything that you're curious about or, again, anything that you want to listen to on this podcast. Again, timelessmoviepod@gmail.com. Ms. Rome, I checked the inbox today in the morning.
0.
Nothing so far. So hopefully that pushes a couple people that are listening. Hey, send it over. Let me know what questions you got.
Why would they send the email instead of a comment?
Maybe they want to give me an essay. Maybe they want to give me a narrative like that. Let me know something deep, about a movie that they saw, how it changed them.
Something private.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I won't read that private stuff here. It'll just be for me. Anyway, Mr. Rome, let's talk about this week's movie. One of 4 movies that has come out for the Memorial Day weekend is The Mandalorian and Grogu. This movie, Mr. Rome, we'll get into it, but there's a couple of questions that kind of come up as you're watching this movie. But Mr. Rome, can you let everybody know that's listening, what is your feelings towards The Mandalorian? How did you feel about the show? How do you feel about it being a movie now? What are your thoughts?
I think I was a part of everybody. I think everybody was blown away with the first season of Mando, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nobody expected that from Star Wars. So I was a big fan.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, to me, it was like they ran out of ideas. We were talking about the other day, like where it was like when it was May the 4th and we were at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody's dressed as like Star Wars characters. I think like the appeal of Star Wars is not the stories so much. It's like I just think it's how cool characters look.
The aesthetic.
Right. Like people like Jedis because they look cool. That's what I think. I don't know. Mando looks cool.
He does.
so I mean that's always gonna make you want to watch whatever he's in. That's my take.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm with you. Yeah. I not to copy what you said. I think the first season of Mando really, it really opened up a lot of like, okay, we don't always have to have Jedis, or eventually you do get to see and meet Grogu, who eventually is shown to have the Force. But in essence, I felt like it was a really cool aspect of the universe where it was more about crime. It was more about, bounty hunters and trying to find people. Like it felt like it had more depth than like just a normal Star Wars movie. So I was pretty pumped. But like you mentioned, I feel like every season, although consistent, it's always been like either good or at least you've enjoyed it. I feel like every season just kind of felt like it's losing its appeal more and more. And so that's why it kind of confused me when they were going to bring it up as a movie. I'm like, oh, okay. So is this the end?
Or are they going to do something different?
Exactly.
Here's what I was thinking the other day.
Yeah.
That first season worked so well because I think that idea was so good. Like this Western, this guy who doesn't take off his mask, doesn't talk much. And then the introduction of a baby Yoda. And you're like, I think that was the first episode, right?
Yeah, it was.
And you're like, what the hell is happening? It's like, it was so cool. And then like you mix like a baby with this guy who's like stoic. And I think that worked perfectly. But I think, and this is going to be a little foreshadowing of what I feel about the movie. Mm-hmm. That story arc should have ended, all right? Yeah. Grogu, that's it. He's got to go. When he went to train with Luke, that should have been the end.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And then they should have just continued the story of Mando, but think of something else. Because like if you keep Grogu with Mando, it's going to be the same damn story every time.
It almost feels like you have to tell all of us the story of like their dynamic of like, oh, one taking care of the other, one is in peril, the other one has to help.
But that's been told already. Like how many more different ways can you tell it?
Yeah.
I think the way to go with Mando, like from a long time ago, would have been just to continue the story without him.
Yeah.
But, merchandise.
That's a big part of it.
Money.
I mean, when we went, that was the good one. When we went to the theater, Mr. Rome, you clocked like 8 people that had
basically every
Grogu.
family had at least one Grogu on them.
Grogu on their shoulder, a Grogu plushie, everything. So, yeah, it kind of sucks that they almost feel like these characters kind of have this plot armor in a way of like, can you really get rid of them? Like, can you show the stakes to make it feel like, oh man, these characters aren't gonna live forever? But yeah.
That's like, I guess this is just the introduction. We'll talk about it later.
Let's do it. Let's jump into the non-spoiler section first, and then we'll kind of give a little bit of our high-level thoughts as well. So, The Mandalorian Grogu is directed by Jon Favreau. If you are not aware of his work, he has made many great films that we love, like Elf, Iron Man, Chef, The Lion King, and of course, he also helped develop and direct
live action Lion King.
Yes, great clarification. Live action Lion King. And then, like I mentioned, he also helped develop and directed some of the episodes of The Mandalorian, the TV series. So I got excited because, again, you have a guy that knows these characters well, knows his story, bringing Jon Favreau into the theater. And again, he's already made so many great movies.
And Dave Filoni.
Yes, Dave Filoni, who, again, is overseeing Star Wars now. So you have this really good combination. So I was really hoping for something real special about how they could really expand this universe a little bit more. Before we get there, who are some of the actors that come out in it? Pedro Pascal, Sigourney Weaver. We have Jeremy Allen White, Johnny Coyne, Steve Blum, and Martin Scorsese. You heard that right. Martin Scorsese in a Star Wars movie? What? Maybe we'll talk about that later if we remember. So I'll put a pin on that one. What the heck is The Mandalorian and Grogu about? The entire story in this film? Well, let me give you a little synopsis. You get reintroduced in a way to Mando and Grogu, who are tracking down different Imperial warlords. Now, the Empire has fallen. This seems to be set after the sequel trilogy that came out, I think, in 2019. And they're just helping out the New Republic, trying to track down all these different warlords. Well, in this movie, they get tasked with trying to get a faceless warlord. They don't have any type of recognition of what he looks like, where he could be. They just have a name. And so now they have to try to find out where this individual is to try to get information out of him. And this, eventually sets up Mando and Grogu on a specific mission, and things get a little bit tricky on their specific adventure. So keep it very vague, but we'll eventually get into spoilers, but we'll cover a little bit more about what happens. After we left the theater, Mr. Rome, let me explain my thoughts. I thought this movie was good. I thought it was pretty much what I expected it to be. I had pretty low expectations. I was hoping to be more pumped every time I would see the trailers, but I just kept getting that same feeling of like, okay, well, I've seen this before. Like you were mentioning, like how many times can we do this story of this dynamic of Mando and Grogu, of them being on an adventure, going on a specific type of a quest to find somebody or find something, and how could they kind of try to change that up in any kind of different way? So the unfortunate part is that I thought it was good, but it was nothing that I haven't seen before. It was nothing that I like, even from the perspective of what I would hope from when new Star Wars movies comes out is I hope that there's something that they can introduce that's different. What's unique about this? There are elements, but it's nothing groundbreaking. And so I had a good time, but I was not blown away. This is not one of the best Star Wars films that I've seen. There's still some parts of it that I do want to talk to you about, questions that came up. One of the questions I think you already asked me when we went to go watch a movie, but those are my overall thoughts, Mr. Rome. It's good, not great, but what do you think about it, Mr. Rome?
Yeah, it's a good, but I'm very, very extremely disappointed and angry.
Oh, angry.
Yeah, but it's good.
Yeah. Dude, I can't wait to get to the angry part.
I mean, it's obvious, dude. It's like, just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what we're doing here, Mr. Rome?
What?
We're going to be talking about some pros and cons. That way we can expand a little bit more about Mando and Grogu. So, Mr. Rome, let's start with pros. What's something that you at least liked, that you thought was, at least something that you appreciated about the movie?
The music by Ludwig, right?
Give me a high five. First pro. My biggest pro.
I mean, that guy, yeah, probably me too. That's why I mentioned it first. I mean, what else could you say? I think he's already up there, with some of the top movie composers.
Dude, I mean, being able to add on top of what John Williams did for Star Wars and being able to make his own sound, his own type of atmosphere in like various parts in this movie, man, it's incredible. Like how he's able to like I mean, John Williams, legendary.
Yep.
What most considers like the greatest composer of all time, but he's already like winning Oscars. I know that the Oscars don't mean a lot to us, but I mean,
it's some recognition.
It's recognition that the world knows that this guy is talented, and it's just incredible. I think he's barely like in his 30s, and he's
crazy.
Already being able to create this resume that has so many great sounds. But I mean, the Mando theme song is just so awesome. To me, already a classic, Mr. Rome.
Yeah.
And I have a question about that theme, and I want to talk about it in spoilers. But I'm with you, Mr. Rome. I mean, Ludwig is just a beast. If I could just highlight it a little bit more, I really like the sounds that he implemented for certain like planets that they were visiting, where it just like sounded so like different and unique. Like they were in this specific planet, I think called Shikari, and
it looks like Coruscant. It kind of looks like a city,
but it has this kind of like a vibe where like there's like energy to it. It's almost like if you're in a futuristic New York in a way, or like a downtown. But
it's like a sound we haven't heard in Star Wars before.
That's what I wanted like out of the whole movie though. I was like,
I think that's what we all wanted.
Yeah, but so I'm with you, Mr. Rome. Music was awesome. Mr. Rome, if I can bounce off another one, one of my pros is that I really did like the way that they mixed practical and visual effects.
Yeah.
There was a lot of times where, again, and this is not a spoiler in any way, but Grogu is a puppet. He's a puppeteer. It is not CGI in any way. But there was also other creatures and species that were used with, puppeteering and made it look super realistic. But I also did like that there was some species that were visual effects, but it never took me out of it. Like there were certain characters that they were fully CGI and visual affected in the scenes, but you still feel like they were there. I like the planets and the places that they went to. Everything felt tangible. Everything felt real. If they were in a forest or if they were in a city that looked like Coruscant, like everything just felt like it was actual a place that they were visiting.
Right.
I like that. I liked how they mixed it, and they never felt like that uncanny valley feeling of like, oh, something looks off, like something just doesn't look right here. So that was another one of the pros that kind of came up to me.
Yeah, actually, you just maybe think of another one. If you've noticed, like a lot of Star Wars takes place in deserts.
Yes. Ooh.
And I actually appreciated this movie didn't show any desert. I mean, there was like a beach that was like sandy, but almost all locations weren't deserts, so that's a pro for me.
Dude, that's actually a great call out. Yeah, because a lot of the movies that we've seen always on Tatooine.
And shows, it's like,
Yeah.
even if it's not Tatooine, it's like they somehow are still in the desert. What?
Yeah, here we get like a forest swamp kind of an area. We get, again, like that Coruscant
city.
one. Yeah, we get like a battle arena. We get like so many different places that, again, that's kind of what I was looking for as well, of just like seeing so many different types of environments. We have a galaxy. We're always talking about galaxies.
Yeah.
And we don't see all of the plethora of options that we can get. So, yeah, good call. Mr. Rome, any other pros? Anything else positive that you have to say about Mando and Grogu?
You have anything else?
I do. I only have one more.
All right.
This is like the cheap pop for me, Mr. Rome.
Okay.
Cheap pop in WWE terms for anybody that knows the action.
Yeah.
The action in the series was always really cool.
Yeah.
But I really like that they highlighted, and just the most important part, make Mando look badass. Make him look cool. Make him look like the guy that is, at times maybe unstoppable, but he's always going to track down the warlord. He's always going to track down whoever he is tasked to get. And so I really liked how they just kind of framed a lot of the action. It didn't look choppy. I'm not going to go down my whole rabbit hole in my rant about how I hate shaky cameras, but
Yeah.
they didn't do any of that. It all looked very crisp. So super simple. I know it's an action movie, but they really nailed that part.
I mean, like, I can't even lie. That intro did hype me up, because I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, I feel like this movie's going to be good.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back. We're back, baby. Because that intro is just like, it was all action, and it just looked so cool. And then the music came in, and I was like, wow, like, I think I'm back on board. So yeah, that's a pro.
And then the rest of the movie happened.
And the rest of the movie happened, and I was like, man.
Mr. Rome, speaking of the rest of the movie, let's go into little cons.
Okay.
Again, we won't spoil too much. A couple of things, nitpicks, whatever we felt as we were watching the movie. You said you were angry. I don't know if you're going to save that anger for the spoilers part or this right now, but you let me know, Mr. Rome.
I can do it now.
Okay. Any cons that you got?
Cons? Grogu.
Man, Omar. All right.
Grogu.
Just in general, like this character, just overall.
Grogu. Like, I see through the facade. I see through
the puppet.
Yeah, I see through the puppet. This is a cash grab. Grogu is a cash grab. You're talking about cheap pops? Grogu is a cheap pop. His entire character is a cheap pop.
Yeah.
He appears on screen, and you hear all the kids or all the people, oh, or they laugh at stuff he does. They're laughing because he's cute. That's not storytelling. That's not a movie. Like, to me, it's like Rocky and Project Hail Mary.
How dare you?
They're just trying to make him a cute little thing so that everybody can be like, oh yeah, I like it. I don't like that. Okay, you're forcing me. It's like they're telling me, hey, look, you're supposed to like this because he's a cute little baby. No, don't tell me what to do. Okay, I like the characters I want to like.
Yeah.
You don't tell me what characters to like. Don't still insert a little baby because he's cute and he's like, oh, pushing on the buttons. Dude, you're not telling a good story with that. Grogu, Khan.
Nice, man. Hey, dude, great rant, man. Hey, just to clear the air for anybody listening as well, in my rankings, Rocky's way above Grogu.
I put Rocky above Grogu too. But
nice, man.
Like, Rocky bothered me, but he didn't ruin the movie. This one kills my immersion. I can't even lie. It takes me out of the movie because it's like they just want to sell more damn toys.
Speaking of the breaking of immersion, Mr. Rome, that was one of my cons. Is there is a part in this third act, or the beginning of the third act, where Grogu becomes, he's a part of this movie. Like Omar said, he feels like he shouldn't be a central part of this movie, but at one point he becomes really the main protagonist.
All right, go ahead. Finish what you're gonna say.
No, all I was gonna say is that piece of that part of the movie, of the third act, it completely took me out of it. Like, it was like it slowed down what I was enjoying so far. Like, the first two acts, it felt like the movie had like a specific pace, that it was hitting like every certain beat that I really liked. The action was hitting, the music was working, and then it gets to this point with Grogu, and then I don't know, it kind of like I started like wandering. I'm like, oh man, this is taking a real long time. Like,
that breaks my immersion too, because it's like I'm no longer thinking through, like, just taking the movie at face value. Mm-hmm. At that point, it's like I'm starting to think about, okay, now the studio execs want to sell more, or they want more people to come to the theaters, and like, or maybe the writers, maybe Dave Filoni thinks that all the kids love Grogu. Here's a entire Grogu scene. I stopped thinking about the movie. I started thinking about the people who made the movie. I don't want that when I'm watching the movie. Grogu hadn't. It's not a spoiler, right?
For
Grogu having an entire scene to himself.
I don't think so. I didn't think. I mean, as
He
long
had
as we don't describe it.
15 minutes just him. Because look, everybody loves Grogu. More Grogu. God damn. I can't. Next time it might be just a Grogu movie.
I mean, are you gonna go watch it?
No.
They're gonna surprise me. You're like, maybe.
You know who this is also reminding me of?
Who?
Baby Groot.
I
I felt the exact same way. They're just trying to make a cute character that everybody loves.
Yeah.
You want me to like your movie? Make a good story. Don't give me a cute character.
Dude, you're on fire right now, Mr. Rome. I'm loving this anger.
Do you agree or?
I'm with you. I get why they want to include this. Again, to Omar's point, it does feel very like another word for facade. Like it just feels like very inorganic,
Low hanging fruit.
Yeah, like it's just like a very easy attribute that you can include in your movie. Like, yeah, look, we have something that all kids will love. Like everybody's gonna love this very weird little alien that has no dialogue but is still able to make everybody laugh. And like, I get it. You know, again, it doesn't bother me to the point where like this guy like should be removed. But I do want to see more out of Grogu though, and that's one of the things that I'll ask you later, Omar, which you asked me already, but we can talk about it more. Mr. Rome, the only other con that I have about this film is that very similar. Like there's a certain part that happens when Grogu is in the third act, like trying to find a certain aspect or just trying to do something in this third act. And I don't want to spoil it, but he gets helped by some character, never explained, like doesn't really make sense as to like what happened. Like why would this help come from like a universe that has always shown that like, these creatures or species from the galaxy are, some like wouldn't help anybody. And so like, but for some reason Grogu gets help. Is this because he looks like a baby? I don't know, but it kind of bugged me. And it's just like, I don't know, but there's no explanation. And so I'm like, oh.
And there's a few things in the movie that are very convenient.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and that has to be like, that's on the writing.
Yeah.
Right. Conveniently this happens, or like conveniently that happens. And it's like,
like a and then moment. Like,
right.
Oh, and then
guess then what? This happens.
Grogu. But yeah, that was the only one. Mr. Roman, anything else other than Grogu?
No, I mean, I guess like also another elephant in the room is this feels like a show.
Yeah.
Didn't really feel like a movie.
You actually said this walking out when we watched it with our friend John, and you were like, this just feels like I watched another season.
It feels like I watched like 4 or 5 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just that kind of TV. I was hoping that it wouldn't have that kind of TV quality. I was hoping that, okay, it's cinematic. We're in the theaters. Like, let's do something crazy, And there were some moments from action, but yeah, other than that, it did just feel like the fourth season too.
See, and that also makes me angry because it's like Disney saying, these idiots aren't going to tell if this is a show or a movie. It's 2 hours long. These stupid general simpletons aren't gonna tell.
I love it, man.
It's like they're making fun of us.
Yeah, and you're not gonna stand for that.
Nah, man. That's why. Like the movie's good, but I'm very disappointed.
Love it. You know what's never disappointed, Mr. Rome, is spoiling more about these movies that we watch. So
okay. Let's
jump into spoilers, man. Let's just start talking about everything about this movie, the things that we liked in more detail, things that we didn't like, maybe more Grogu hate for Mr. Rome. But before we get there, if you do not want to be spoiled about Mandalorian and Grogu, please jump out of the podcast now, watch the movie, then come back. And like I mentioned at the beginning, drop in some comments. Let us know. Are you in agreement with me and Mr. Rome? Is there a problem with Grogu? Do you feel that inauthentic feeling of this character? Is it a cash grab? Let us know down below in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. All right. Hopefully that gives everybody enough time because spoilers start right now.
Okay.
Mr. Rome, can I start us down this road of Mando and Grogu with this character that we haven't talked about? What did you think about Rada the Hutt, Mr. Rome?
Yeah, I actually liked Rada the Hutt.
I'm right there with you. He was actually one of my favorite characters.
I've been seeing hate online.
Really?
Or people, not on the character, but on Jeremy Allen White.
Now, okay, there's 2 actors or 2 people that voice characters in this movie. We talked about one of them at the beginning, Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
And we have Jeremy Allen White. Let's start with Jeremy Allen White, Mr. It is a weird choice. Why him specifically?
Yeah, because that voice wasn't really like anything crazy.
And it's not something like where when you hear Jeremy Allen White, you're like, oh man, like it's very distinct. Like when I started hearing Rada talk in the movie, I could barely hear like the Jeremy Allen White in his voice.
Yeah.
Like, they altered it in a way.
They altered it.
And so I'm like, oh, well, then why get him specifically? Like, what was this reasoning? At least the Martin Scorsese one, that they didn't alter his voice. That it almost sounded like, even when, like, if you look, like, hear or see any interviews of him, it even has like the mannerism, like the way he talks, like his very fast paced nature and like just things like that. But
yeah, I mean, if you think about it, it's like he's not really acting.
Yeah,
like, they probably just told him like, "Oh, just be Martin Scorsese."
It was funny though.
Yeah, it was. I think that was probably one of my favorite characters. But yeah, Run of the Hut. It was. I liked how different it was from all the other Huts. Like,
yes,
because when I heard his voice, that automatically made it more interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was gonna be. I feel like, because I was fully expecting, the typical Jabba the Hutt voice.
Yeah,
so that was funny. Like.
Yeah, I like
that
that he had like the language of the Hutts, but then he also spoke English with that, so he can speak with Mando. So like, that, I don't know, that whole kind of vibe of the character was, again, something that I was not expecting, but it was such a good surprise that, again, I think we're in agreement that it was just a fun character to continue to watch. So I wanted to know more. I'm like, okay. And then the coolest aspect of it was that he was basically a gladiator, Mr. Rome.
Yeah.
He was in an arena. He was fighting under another crime lord. And basically he had to fight a certain number of fights to become free. But that whole aspect of him being essentially a fighter and a gladiator in an arena, I thought was so cool. His moveset, Mr. Ohm, like the way that he would roll and like do certain things when he was fighting, I thought that was so clever. I was like, oh man, that's cool. Good touch.
That's where I feel like the movie. These are shows, okay? I'm not gonna accept the fact that this is a movie. These are shows. If they were to make a movie, like it would benefit so much in just elongating one of these aspects. Mm-hmm. Like if you want to make the movie about Red of the Hutt, make it kind of like Ragnarok. A big part is just the Hulk is a gladiator. And a big part of this movie should have been Red of the Hutt is a gladiator. But because these are shows, we only get like 20 minutes of it, and then we move on to some other different mission. They should have just extended one of these ideas and make it a movie, or like the bounty hunter. Extend the bounty hunter for that to be throughout the entire movie. And no, instead it's just the final like 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
15 minutes of the movie. You can't fool me. These are shows, it would have been so much more enjoyable if it's like take one or two ideas and just make it that 2 hours long.
I actually wrote down, Mr. Rome, what do you think about a gladiator-esque movie in the Star Wars universe? Something like
it should have been this.
Yeah, like that would have been cool.
And then think about all the monsters or animals you could pull from, because it's a galaxy. Right?
You can make whatever you want, any creature, and put them in a pit to fight in the gladiator. And like, again, you don't have to copy the Gladiator movie with Russell Crowe, but something like that, like in a universe where you have so much possibility of like sci-fi, all those elements. There's so much to like be able to create and use your imagination. That would have been cool, like a 2-hour movie, like you said, extend it.
Playing what ifs now.
I know, but I guess that whole gladiator sequence, and like cool, even when Mando was involved in it too, that was my favorite, I think, scene of the whole movie. Just them teaming up, working together to try to like escape. I love that when the barriers come down, instead of all the creatures continue to fight, they're like, all right,
just escape.
I'm out of here. So that was cool. Mr. Owen, we find out that in this part, and just kind of explaining a little bit more for the context for anybody listening, the reason that Rada is there is because I guess he was, captured by this crime lord, and essentially Mando is tasked by the Hutts, the brother and sister of Jabba the Hutt, to find Rada, bring him back. But the whole reason of this is because the Hutt twins, want to basically get rid of Rada, because that way they can take away his inheritance and they become the crime lords of this syndicate, whatever it is. So that whole aspect, again, I liked. I was explaining a little bit before we got to the third act that I want to talk about. I liked how the movie was kind of setting up, like, how they were going from, okay, we got to go find this crime lord. Well, who knows the name? We got to go to the Hutts. Okay, well, the Hutts know, hey, they're not going to give you all the details. You know that they're going to double cross you, but they're the only people that we can trust. And I liked how the flow of the story was going. We're like, okay, this is fun. This is a cool adventure. We're jumping around to different planets, but you're having to work with crime bosses. Like, can you trust them? No, you can't. But all those aspects I really liked. But anything that you have to add, Mr. Rome, about like the Hutts or anything else? Like, did you like that? At least that setup of the movie, or?
I did. Look, I liked the movie. Like, I'm just saying that they should just stuck to one thing. The Hutts, or I don't know. Like, I feel like it was shows, man. They were just shows. That's how shows are. You know, it's like one thing happens here, then the next episode something else happens here, and it's like I liked it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Rum, let me move into the parts that I wanted to kind of dive into more. And again, this is going to be some of the parts that I didn't really like, but I want to expand on why. We get to the slowdown of this
cons
movie.
Again?
Yeah, but more detailed cons.
Spoiler cons?
Nice. Spoiler cons. We have this slowdown in the movie, Mr. Rome. Why does the movie slow down? Because Mando ends up fighting this dragon snake.
Yeah.
He gets bit, gets poisoned, and the movie could have done something real cool. They could have taken out Mando. They could have taken him out completely from the story and gotten rid of the character and then just shown you. And that's why I thought the movie, at least a percentage in the back of my mind, was like, if they really kill him off, they have a dynamic with Rada and Grogu if you want to.
Yeah.
You can have these two characters that seem like they were having this very playful interactions. And I'm like, oh, are they really going to get rid of him? They didn't get rid of Mando. But in this part of the story, they basically take out Mando. And Grogu becomes the star of the show. And Mr. Rome, this slowdown was to me, it was really bad. Like, one, it completely like knocked off the pacing of the movie. Like, I don't know what happened, but like I didn't get that. I couldn't get back on board.
Yeah.
And then the worst part about it, Mr. Rome, you get this random fisherman. Grogu's going around trying to find food. This fisherman has fish there. He ends up stealing some. And then all of a sudden the fisherman knows that Grogu is stealing them, tells him a little bit of information about the Hutts, and then it says, hey, let me give you this antidote so they can save Mando. What?
He just happens to know, this random lizard just happens to know the exact antidote that Mando needed.
And I was like, there's no way. There's got to be some explanation. Is he going to double cross them? What is this? And never explained it.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, man.
But it's like the movie was filled with stuff like that. Like,
oh, yeah. Tell me some of the other ones. You said that like that were convenient.
The guy they're looking for, coin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, actually, you already met the guy. It's
this guy.
Oh, wow. What are the odds? The entire galaxy, you met the one guy you needed. It's like the movie was filled with like convenient moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that, the antidote. But by that point, I didn't care because I was already checked.
You were already out there.
I was like, whatever. Let's just finish this movie already. If we had this, like, it would have been cool if Mando died. But yes. I also was like you. I was like, could he die here? But then I was like, if he dies here, that's gonna be the stupidest way to die. Because like you would think Mando would die like sacrificing himself for Grogu in like a battle against the Empire or something. Not a freaking snake in the sewer.
Poison.
Poison, and he's fighting droids. Droids! We're in the freaking... We're past like episode 7 and he's fighting droids.
Oh, man. Yeah, that fisherman one. That you could have easily included a scene. This is what came into my mind, Mr. Rome. Here comes the what if section.
What if, yeah.
You know when Mando and Grogu go to the palace to meet the Hutts for the first time?
Yep.
You could have easily had that fisherman come out and he must have been screwed by the Hutts. Or something happened where they got rid of something, or now he's going to have to live by the pond or the lake.
Yeah.
That one detail would have made so much sense. And then just have just somebody passing by. Have Grogu see the fisherman. And then that would have made that whole scene made much more sense in the third act. No,
I mean,
it's just frustrating, man. And then again, for you, this is why I love this dynamic, Mr. Rome, because you're always gonna call out the characters. What characters don't make sense? You're always gonna side for the element of, hey, this character for like Grogu, not needed like that.
Yeah.
Isn't adding into the story. Me, do the story. Like those little moments like really piss me off. Of like you could have easily added 1 minute scene, 30 seconds of just them passing by. Let's see this fisherman before. And no. He has the antidote. He has the answer. And I'm like, no, man, come on.
That's because like once you start thinking about the story, it's like you can start finding like a million different ways to do it better. So
Anyway.
I don't even get into that.
Yeah. Mr. Rome, we had both the same thought. You asked me before we went to go watch a movie that we're going to be talking about on this channel, Passengers.
Okay, what I asked?
You asked me, is Grogu ever going to grow up? And I wrote that exact same question. I said, will Grogu ever grow up? And I think you gave us the answer earlier on.
Money.
The cash grab, I think, is just too strong. It's. I don't think they'll ever be able to do it. At least with the example that you gave earlier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Groot. It was only one movie, but eventually Groot grew up.
Yeah.
He had to become an adult in some way. I honestly don't know if they'll ever do that.
It's because I mean, Grogu's way like more popular than Groot.
Yeah.
His popularity is like he might be the face of Star Wars at this moment.
You might be right. That's actually a great point. Especially like not counting any of like this, like if you're talking about Rey, if you're talking about like anything like
no,
Kylo
even
Ren,
counting that. I'm talking like the modern era of Star Wars. I think he might be the face more than Kylo Ren or Rey.
So he might be like Roman Reigns when they're trying to force him down our throats, huh?
Yeah. Back in 2015, when nobody wanted him. That's exactly what it is.
Gosh, man. Yeah. What do you guys think? Again, anybody listening, let us know. Do you agree with this? I really wish that they could grow him up like that. I get why they don't, because again, it's just easy to sell so much of that merchandise. But man, it would be interesting to see him like grow up and like actually become like the future of the Jedi. Like that, just he's the last one.
It's I feel like majority of people think that same way. But then it's like none of us have the pressure of like millions of dollars on our backs, you know.
That's a good point.
Like it's easy for us because like we have no stakes.
Yeah.
That being said, he's gotta go. I want to shout out Zeb from Star Wars Rebels.
Mr. Rome, great segue, because I was actually gonna ask you.
Really?
Did you like the inclusion of Zeb?
Hell yeah! Here's a shout out to Zeb, and all my fellow Star Wars Rebels fans.
I'm not part of that.
I know you're not. I've been trying to get my brother on Rebels for like forever, actually.
Yeah.
Never wanted to watch it, so it's all right. You know, you missed out on this cool reference.
No wonder you're the only one cheering when he came out like that. Nobody else cheered like that except for Omar. Yeah. Mr. Rome, did you like his inclusion? Did you want more of him in this movie? Or did you get the perfect amount?
You know, now that I think about it, yeah, I did want more. I feel like he had a cool dynamic with Mando.
I thought so too.
Yeah, how come there wasn't more Zeb?
I like the banter between the two. Yeah,
that's a con.
Oh, late spoiler con right here.
Not enough Zeb.
Mr. Rome, last thing, and then we'll go to the last two segments of the podcast and we'll wrap things up. We talked about music. Ludwig Göransson developed an awesome Mando theme, Mr. Rome. Let me ask you this question. Okay. Didn't prepare you at all for this. If we're talking about the top themes of Star Wars,
all right,
do you think that the Mando theme cracks the top 3?
Ooh.
And
no.
I'll give you some of them, right?
I said no already.
I know you said no. Okay. But for anybody listening, you have the classic Star Wars run, like right when the movie starts. Opening sequence like that. You have the Imperial March from
Episode 5.
Episode 5, Darth Vader, his entrance. I put Duel of the Fates.
Duel of the Fates, yep.
It has to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You think Mando gets close? The Mando theme gets close to any one of those 3?
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even put it top 5 either.
Really?
Yeah, because I like the Anakin Obi-Wan fight.
Oh, yes.
And then I like...
what about the one of the two sons? The Tatooine?
Exactly, yeah. I was going to say that. The Jedi theme?
Yeah.
Yeah. Top 10 for sure, though.
Yeah.
Maybe even 6 or 7.
I'm telling you, like, because I started thinking about, like, all the ones that just came into my head. I didn't do any research. I just thought about the ones that, like, I know just by heart of, like, oh, man, I get goosebumps when the opening sequence. Like, whenever Darth Vader comes out, like, you just know this music's going to hit. But, I mean, dude, even after the movie, though, I'm still humming it. Bum-bum-bum-bum.
Yeah.
Bum-bum-bum. It's just like, man, it's so good. But
it's definitely the highlight of the movie.
There's at least some inkling of goosebumps that I get when I listen to that song, you know? But anyway, Mr. Rome, let's get to the last 2 segments, and then we're out of here.
2?
Yeah, man. You always question, like, what's the last 2?
I feel like we talked for a lot already.
I know, man, but we always got to ask and answer these questions.
Okay.
Mr. Rome,
Yeah.
to anybody listening out there, would you recommend people go watch Mandalorian and Grogu in theaters, streaming, or skip it? What do you think?
Just to like stick it to Disney, I say skip it.
Damn.
You're not gonna get free viewership off us.
I would say that if you're like a super huge fan of Star Wars, go check it out in theaters. My personal preference, this is probably a perfect Disney Plus movie. You know, like this is streaming.
Yeah,
it feels like
yeah.
it feels like after you watch season 3 of Mandalorian and Grogu, just put the movie on right here. Watch it.
Just put the next season on.
The next season on.
Which is this.
Ms. Rome, here comes the most important question that I got for you. The whole premise of this podcast. Is Mandalorian and Grogu a timeless movie?
No.
I'm right there with you, man. It is not a timeless movie.
See all that hype up just to should just say it right away.
It could have been a surprise, you know? What if the music like that? What if the gladiator scenes get you back?
Let's end this.
I guess it's a no, but those are all of our thoughts about the Mandalorian and Grogu. Hopefully we didn't sound too negative, but hey.
But hey, man, you can't just feed us anything and expect us to be happy.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, what do you all think? Anybody listening out there, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, drop in your comments. Let us know who your favorite character was. Did you enjoy some of the action? What did you not like about this movie? And did you think Mandalorian and Grogu is a timeless movie? All right, everybody. Appreciate you all listening to our full thoughts about this movie. Mr. Rome, I can't thank you enough for joining us on episode 195 to talk about this film.
200's next?
200 is next, man.
Are you gonna do something special?
I hope so. There's a couple things I got planned.
Okay.
Like things that I'm hoping to include in the podcast, but I don't want to say anything because I don't want to be, over-promising and then under-delivering,
All right.
That's maybe the story of my life, though, over-promising and under-delivering on different things. But anyway, we don't have to get into that kind of stuff. Mr. Rome, thanks so much, man. It was great talking to you about this movie. Thank you all for listening to this episode of the Timeless Movie Podcast. Make sure to check out our next episode. I go solo, talking about a new horror movie called Passengers. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you all later.